What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be going over the most commonly used weapons in the $100,000 Baka Bros LAN Warzone tournament today. I think you can gain a lot of information from what the pros are using because they have a really good sense for what's good, whether or not the actual stats match that. I think both points of view are really important. So guys that do content on what feels good versus me who does content on the numbers, I think both of those are very, very important. Obviously, I try to get some feel in there too. And I talk about all the time how accuracy is key at range, but it's a combination of accuracy and recoil that really, can bring about a good long-range weapon. So we're gonna go over the two guns that were probably the most common in this tournament, and I'll show you the loadouts that I built with them. I basically took the gun and built what I think is the best possible build. So you guys can go out there and fry with these yourselves in public matches. But as always, if you like the content, please consider subscribing. We're 2,000 subscribers away from 200,000 subs, which is unfathomable to me. Thank you guys so much for the support. If you want to help the video with the algorithm, just drop a like on it and drop a comment. I'd always appreciate just seeing what you guys have to think about the video and just any thoughts about the stuff I say. But let's jump into it and we'll talk about the two most commonly used weapons in the Baka Bros $100,000 tournament today. Alright, so we're going to go attachment by attachment just like normal, and I'm going to talk about the two weapons that were used the most and the builds that I think are optimum for them. So the BREN was extremely popular, and I think there's multiple reasons for that. One, it's incredibly accurate, and two, it has this Queen's Royal Barrel, and this makes it so it doesn't have a second damage drop-off, which is insane. Like, that's ridiculously overpowered. On top of that, it helps with bullet velocity and recoil by a lot. Also reduces scope sway and gun bob, which is ADS walking sway. So this barrel, in combination with the fact that the gun hits really hard and has low recoil, just all those things combined make it ridiculously good. So attachment by attachment, MX silencer, we picked this over the Mercury silencer because we want to stay off the minimap, and the Mercury hurts damage range. For a long range gun, we don't care that much about aim down sight time. It's always important, but damage range is more important for a long range gun. I just talked about the barrel. I think this barrel, for all those reasons I just stated, is really good. The negatives don't really matter again for a long range gun. Underbarrel, there's really not a lot of great options here. The Carbine 4 grip is the one that I'm running on this. Just helps with recoil. We just want to reduce the recoil as much as possible because that gets those effective TTKs down at range. The 6.5 Sakura mags. So this is a 40 round mag. It's a pretty small amount of damage per mag, but because it is a lower caliber ammunition, it helps with your fire rate, helps with your aim down sight speed, and gives you much better recoil control and accuracy. So this makes the gun even more accurate. And again, we're trying to stack all these accuracy attachments and all these recoil attachments to try to make this as beamy as possible at range. As for the rear grip, I use the groove grip. The BREN has a lot of horizontal recoil, a lot of horizontal bounce as it goes up, and the groove grip really seems to help with that a lot. It has this horizontal recoil control stat on here, and it feels like it helps a lot more with horizontal recoil than pretty much any of the other grips. And it also helps with aimed walking movement speed and ADS firing movement speed. Both of those things make it so you can kind of, strafe really fast while you're ADS and fire, which is really powerful. I don't have the lengthened ammunition unlocked yet, but for sure, if you have that, you're going to want to use lengthened. If you don't have that, FMJ would be pretty good. Until then, Incendiary's okay. It just hurts your bullet velocity and damage range, which is a negative. Hollow Point does the same, damage range and bullet velocity. So really, for a long range gun, you probably want to kind of avoid these two. So until you get lengthened, probably FMJ is what I would recommend. Frangible's okay as well. Basically, this makes it so they don't heal as fast. So as they're trying to run away after you hit them, it'll take them a lot longer to regen their health. So that's an okay one as well, given that it has no cons whatsoever. But for sure, the lengthened is the one you want to use if you have that. Perks, so tight grip says it helps with recoil during sustained fire, and I find that this is a dramatic effect on recoil. On all the guns I've used, tight grip seems like a very almost essential perk. It has no negatives and just gives you dramatically better recoil after the first few shots. So definitely tight grip on here is the one you want to use. Brace helps with initial firing recoil, but on this gun specifically, kind of the sustained fire is less accurate than the first few shots, so I want the sustained fire to be reduced. Perk 2, whatever you want to use here, fully loaded, surplus to level the gun faster. Mounted movement speed is defender, so that's one of the ones that's kind of a positive actually for using the weapon in combat situations. As for stock, so I've tried all these attachments out and tried to see which ones felt the best. Again, we have an attachment right now for sustained fire recoil. So in order to balance that out, I wanted to get one for initial firing recoil as well. These tend to have more of an effect than just a straight recoil attachment. attachment, so that's why I like to do one initial firing and one sustained firing, and combine those two to make like an overall really low recoil gun. The other good options here, just the Queen's Model 11 is a really good stock as well. It just helps with recoil control. And then this one, the Hawkinson, helps with the sustained fire as well. So you can try these three. I personally felt like this combination of everything I have on the weapon felt the best to me, but these are both good options as well. For optic, I really like the night vision optic on this map. I feel like it can help you see enemies that you wouldn't normally see because there's so much, cover and things like that. So I think the night vision, which is actually like a thermal optic, it looks like the thermal optics from Modern Warfare, is a really great option. The 3 to 6x is also a great option, or the 4 to 8x, I mean, is also a great option. This is one I like on most guns as well. Those are pretty much my two go-to on any long range gun right now. The 3 to 6 is also a great choice. So the second gun we saw a lot of use was the Cooper Carbine as an SMG. And as you guys saw in my video yesterday, the Cooper Carbine is also a fantastic long-range AR. So it's kind of like, with these 10 attachments, you can kind of make it the master of all trades, which is pretty crazy. The idea behind this build that I've built here is basically maximizing fire rate, because up close, it's really nice to have a high fire rate for flinching the enemy and just forgiveness if you go off the target at all. The slower your fire rate when you go off the target, the more chance your TTK is going to be increased by a large amount. So the thought here was just maximize that fire rate, and have it give it manageable recoil, so you can still hit targets that are mid-range if you have to. So recoil booster gives you the maximum increase in fire rate that you can get with a muzzle attachment. It hurts your accuracy, but they've basically removed bloom from the game at this point, so this doesn't even matter at all. The bullets go right where you're aimed now. So there's two good barrels here for the Cooper Carbine for an SMG build. This first one gives it dramatically better recoil and accuracy. It also reduces the sway and gun bob and increases your fire rate, but it doesn't hurt recoil at all, which is awesome. It doesn't hurt your ADS time. It doesn't hurt your movement speed. It only hurts sprint to fire and hip fire, which are both important for an SMG. But overall, it still feels like an SMG when you build it like this. The other good option is the Gracie Rapid. This does hip fire accuracy and fire rate. The reason I like the Cooper Custom a little bit more is because this gun shoots really fast and actually has a decent amount of recoil if you use the Gracie Rapid. So anything at past 20 meters, you're going to have a hard time hitting people if you're using the Gracie. But with the Cooper, easy to beam people out at mid-range for sure. They're both good options, though. Just pick which one you like the most. This is an SMG, so really, I think the Carver foregrip's great. Helps you with hip fire and recoil control. It does hurt your aim down sight speed a little bit. If you're not going to be hip firing at all, the hand stop might be a better option because it hurts that hip fire, but who cares if you're not going to be hip firing the gun? It's already an AR, so it already has a little bit worse hip fire. This gives you recoil control and accuracy, and it's going to really help you with those mid-range engagements. As far as the magazine goes, again, we're trying to maximize that fire rate and get as many bullets as possible. So the 9mm 60-round drum, this is the same one we used for long range, actually. This gives you really good recoil control, insane fire rate, helps with your ADS time, and obviously gives you 60 bullets. It hurts your bullet velocity and range and damage, but all those things are more, long range things, and it still works well for long range just because it's so low recoil. So I think the 60-round drum mag is really just fantastic. The fact that it actually does not hurt your movement speed or anything like that to get 60 rounds is pretty crazy, and one of the things that lets this gun be a very good SMG. Ammunition, incendiary, I talked about this yesterday, but incendiary on SMGs is crazy good. It gives a damage over time effect that makes it so the person you're shooting, if they drop behind cover, they can't plate right away, and that's huge. So I think incendiary is just going to be the go-to forever, pretty much for SMGs. It's too powerful to not use. It hurts them extra, and it makes it so they can't plate. Rear grip, you can pick whatever you want here. There's a bunch of good options. Again, I like to be able to beam people out to, 25, 30 meters and be pretty accurate. So I like to have a little bit of recoil control attachments. Rubber grip does a good job with that, but really grooved grip would also be fantastic. So grooved grip helps with that horizontal recoil, and again, gives you really, really good, ADS movement speeds while you're firing and things like that. It's basically like a Raider stock was. So overall, rubber grip, groove grip, both fantastic options. Groove grip's probably the one I would prefer in most situations. Perk, I think just vital. So I haven't done research into this yet. This is going to be one of the things I look into very soon to see what it does. If it actually does anything. I know it does something for the snipers because it allowed me to get a one-shot chest shot with that Type 99 that I made a video on a few days ago. But I don't know how it affects all the other guns, so I'm going to be investigating that very soon. But yeah, for now, I would stick with a vital. Just increase that torso damage and give you better TTKs. As for the stock, I like the removed stock. Gives you much better movement speed, much better sprint to fire time, and much better aim down sight speed. All these things are super important for SMGs. So yeah, I don't have much else to say there. It's going to hurt your recoil, but we have enough recoil attachments with that barrel and the carver foregrip that it doesn't matter that it hurts that recoil. And it's going to really boost our movement speed a lot, which is very important. Perk 2, again, there's nothing here really that's amazing to talk about. Surplus if you want to level the gun faster. Fully loaded is pretty much what I run just because it gives me full ammo every time I pick it up, which is great. And then the optic slate reflector, I think pretty much everyone agrees is the best reticle, or the best optic for close range guns right now. So yeah, those are the two builds. Ridiculously good. Let's jump into a plunder match and I'll show you how these things actually perform. So the way I built these two guns, they kind of complement each other specifically in this loadout. The BREN's going to be a lot slower than the Cooper that I built yesterday as far as long range gun goes for ADS time and movement speed and things like that. So in order to kind of complement that, I built the Cooper SMG with, you know, longer range. Like, it has more recoil control and things like that. That's going to be more effective in that mid range. So this is the SMG Cooper. So let's just take some shots at this thing over there. It's probably 80 meters, and it's absolutely a beam. It's good movement speed, pretty good ADS time, super accurate, and it has great TTKs because we have all those fire rate attachments on there. And then we've got this the BREN, fully built the same way that I talked about in the earlier part of the video. Let's see if I can find somebody to actually shoot here. So this guy's probably, he was 85 meters away, and there's just no recoil, and we don't have any damage drop-offs because of that barrel. So it's just crazy how good the BREN is right now. It'll be nerfed very soon, I'm sure. If you're looking for a gun to level that might not get nerfed super soon, I think the probably the STG won't get nerfed directly right away. I think the Cooper and the BREN are probably gonna get nerfed very soon, especially with how on top of everything they've been with the nerfs recently. All right, everybody, that is all I wanted to show today. Try these two builds out. They're gonna absolutely fry lobbies for you, and you're gonna have a ton of fun with them. Don't have anything else to say, but thank you guys so much for watching. We're sneaking up on 200,000 subscribers, so if you're not subscribed, please hit that sub button and help me get that 200,000 goal. But thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.